Hi, this is Jeff Zeig, and here I am in Anaheim, California, where I'm doing a site visit for the December 2017 Evolution of Psychotherapy conference. But I'm also here to offer you another 5-minute tip for therapists for making therapy a more effective and a more enjoyable experience, not only for the client, but also for the therapist. Now, one of the ways that we could conceive psychotherapy is that therapy can be a symbolic drama of change, the imperative of which is, the subtext of which is, by living this experience, you can transform yourself into a more adaptive state. Clients get lost in maladaptive states, being disconnected, unmotivated, irresponsible, and we need to have a technology for helping clients to change their state, not just a way of giving them information that changes their cognitive structure or a way of giving them some behavioral homework that helps them to do things different. We need to be able to do things in the therapy room, in the consultation room, that helps people to get a reference experience. I can change my state. I can realize, conceptualize things differently. Now, in order to do that, we have to reference things that we learn from the world of art. Art is about conceptual communication. Art is not necessarily about giving people information. Picasso, in painting Guernica, is not giving people information about the horrors of war. Beethoven in the Pastoral is not giving you information about what it's like to walk in the country. He's giving you an experience. Now, what do people do that are artists? They make things come alive auditorily. They make things come alive visually. One of the things that I never learned in my PhD program was how to make psychotherapy into a visual art. And one way that we can make psychotherapy into a visual art is by making gestures. And these gestures are symbolic. They stand for something. Like if a client is, for example, out of balance, rather than saying to the client, you're out of balance, you can say to the client, what you want to have in your life is, and you're making a gesture that symbolizes. The symbolization is much richer than the words that you can use. Artists know that. They create symbolizations. One of the things that you want to create in your life is a sense of this. One of the things that you want to be able to do in the face of adversity is this. Now, you could say to somebody you want to be able to spring back quickly, but when you make that concept come visually alive, it enriches the client's realization of the concept. We know that every emotion can be expressed in a gesture. Whether or not the gesture is made is something else, but any emotion can be expressed in a gesture. Any emotion can be expressed in a sound. Now, this is what animals do. They communicate with gestures, they communicate with sounds. If we want to reach into deeper levels of the human brain, if we want to reach into the limbic system, where probably most problems are located, then we need to use a form of communication that appeals to our evolutionary sociobiology, which is basically limbic communication, which is to communicate by virtue of using gestures and sounds. So if a client is depressed and you want to empathize with the client, you could say, oh, you're feeling, ooh. And that expression is taking what Carl Rogers did with empathy and turning it into something that has more dimensions. Make the moment come alive. If you want to avoid therapist burnout, if you want to appeal to ways in which you can create reference experiences that will transport a client from a maladaptive state to an adaptive state, think in terms of the gestures and sounds that you can use. Again, it's a kind of metaphoric technique. If you want to communicate this, you do that. This case, that could be a sound or that could be a gesture. In the training programs that I offer for psychotherapists, we have exercises, we teach people how can you use gestures, how can you use sounds to create transformative, evocative experience, significant evocative experience for clients. This is Jeff Zeig in Anaheim, California, with another 5-minute tip for therapists. Thank you so much.